Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are we all today, wherever you are? When you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Okay, so let's get started here. I want to look at the January the 6th committee hearings, which are starting this week. Let's see what the public are going to think about them. Also want to look at Eastern Ukraine. Russia has, or had, got a step up there, but with renewed deliveries of weapons to the Ukraine from various parts of the world. I think it was it Lithuania that gave them some of their missiles, or rocket launchers or something like that, right through to the US, giving them the heavy weapons that they need to keep fighting and to win this war, or win this invasion, get Russia out of their country. Now, generals are still being killed in the battlefields. There are stories coming out still that Putin is misguided. What sort of a word is that? Is absolutely insane to keep this up, and that in the longer term, Russia will have to get out of Ukraine. Putin's also threatened that if America goes ahead and gives them this latest delivery of weapons, that there could be retribution to pay. So we'll look at those situations. We'll look at January the 6th committee, and we'll go from there. So thank you all for your feedback on my readings. Let's get started with some energies for the week coming ahead. Thank you also for your feedback on my tarot scopes. It is a joy to do them. I do actually love doing them, whether I've got the time to do them or not. So today I'm using the Shaman's Dream Oracle cards and then the Cosmic Tarot to follow. Okay. All right, let's tune into the energies for this coming week. What are we likely to see? You know, this is the beginning of June, or roundabout first week of June. What are the coming energies for this week, please? Or moving into the second week of June. Coming energies, please. So we have here the covenant, sacred contract. I look, honestly, this is, this is for the individual as well as the collective. And I do get a real pull this week that if you are acting not in your own best interests, think again. The sacred contract that you have is always with yourself, and from the self everything else flows. Sacred contract is also how we support other people when we are strong within ourselves. So you can apply that to any situation, political situations as well. If we're not strong within ourselves, then we can't support others. So look for the right kind of strength. You'll know it when you see it. That's what that sacred contract is all about. It is to, some would use the word integrity and truth. Okay, stars in the sky, limitless possibility. When will they learn that without cooperation, without equality and the values that we fight for, that we have fought for, that we've been prepared to go to war for, if you don't have those, then possibilities are limited. Vladimir Putin, are you listening? Republican Party, are you listening? Sky Dancers, surrender. At the end of the day, I keep saying to you over and over again that spirit, that the universe has our backs. And in some way, we can fight that. We can get angry about what's happening. But in the end, look for the truth, look for the integrity, look for the sacred contract, and you can kind of get an idea how it's all going to go. That's not to say there are things along the way that make us fall, that make us, stumble and fall. But I think, having that strength, understanding that there is this period of gestation, which can be dangerous always, where we have to use our resourcefulness, the horned one, the horned cactus, have to use our resourcefulness. I think we're in that kind of period, and we are in its entirety moving out of that stagnation. The dust devil stirring everything up, treasures hidden within the shadows. I mean, this is when you start to make sense out of the tragic or the travesty or the whatever's going on collectively or individually. You start to see those lessons and you start to surrender to them, understanding what is occurring. Now, I've pulled this card a lot, Stranger and Curiosity, for these kind of deep dives around what is occurring for the collective at the moment. And I keep getting this kind of galactic off-world type of energy, Stranger Curiosity. To put it, I guess, simply, this kind of, I'm not going to say ETs, but it's that kind of thing that we are being helped and assisted at this time, repairing the body, mind and spirit. You know, as I said, we started with that sacred contract and how important it is to do that repair on yourself, and then you can do it for other people. Time to replenish. Really, so many messages here for the individual and the collective this week. So many themes that keep reoccurring. So much that we know within ourselves to be true. If we just stop. If we just stop and look at things intuitively, then we start to understand a lot. All right, let's get going here with January the 6th in this same vein. January the 6th, the sacred contract playing out. The Republicans who found their courage and made sure that this committee was possible. The unfolding stories that we're currently seeing. The DOJ now moving toward the ex-president's inner circle. We know they have a grand jury convened. We know that Trump's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, has been charged by the Department of Justice with criminal contempt, or contempt of Congress, I should say, I guess it is criminal contempt of Congress. And that begs the question. Remember I said I think his lawyers, one or more of them, are flipping? Why Giuliani and even Mark Meadows haven't been charged? You know, why? When he's charged both Bannon and Navarro. So I think, we're getting people flipping here to save their own skins. All right, let's get going. January the 6th in all its horror. What's flung out here? The Five of Pentacles. Loss. Being on the outer circle now. Okay, January the 6th. How are the US public? How are they going to react? So we've got the Six of Pentacles. They're going to see who gave aid, who helped who. Those names are not going to be lost on the American public. How are they going to react? And will this affect the midterms? If we can have the entirety of those questions, please, in this spread. January the 6th, public hearing. January 6th committee public hearings beginning on June 9th. How will the public react, and will it affect the midterms? Okay. Eight of Pentacles. What have I got to say? This is like Sun in Virgo. So the Sun in Virgo is illumination of who did what, who did the work, who helped who put this together. I think it was committee member Liz Cheney talked about a wide-ranging, widespread effort to overturn the 2020 election in the US. Who did what work and how is going to be revealed to the public. Now, the Ten of Swords, okay, complete and utter downfall. I have said from the get-go when I was taking holidays on January the 6th, and I came back from vacation to because of the magnitude of the coup in the US. I have always said that justice will be done, and that this would lead to the downfall of the ex-president Trump. I am still of that view. So we've got also an ending of a cycle. If you look at what those overarching energy cards revealed, you can see how this is playing out. We have the Tower as the foundation. Now remember, the Tower was always my my card for the storming of the Congress. The Tower, the king's crown fell. He won't be the only one to fall. So if you think that people will be turning off, they've heard about this for over a year, yada, 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 no, it brings it back into clear focus. And the Tower card is like huge Uranus energy. Just think about the lightning bolt hitting the foundation. This is foundational energy here. I'm glad to see the Tower. I really am. The King of Pentacles is in the past. So, Trump restanding in 2024 is just crazy la la land stuff. The King of Pentacles, anyone around him either. It's just bringing this into sharp focus. This, looking, it's like the foundations of the actual country were threatened in this way. This is a huge shake-up, more than what we think. The Two of Cups in the sky. So again, who did what? Who was aligned with whom? Those names, including a Supreme Court judge, the contracts and the commitments. And this sacred contract then becomes one of, how are we, if we are strong within ourselves, who and how are we going to save the democracy? So we see the power of these public hearings. We see in the immediate future a crossroads and heavy decisions to be made. We are conscious of seeing the everyday shootings of Americans. This is crossroad time. Queen of Swords in the here and now. So the Queen of Swords is air energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. This is about bringing back stability. And we've got females here. Now we know there are females on the January 6th committee. We also know there are females that are female representatives of Congress who are likely to be involved. We also have a female leader of the House. And also, interestingly, Kamala Harris, a poll on whether the vice president, for whatever reason, if Biden decided that, he wanted to spend a few years, not with the burden of office on his shoulders in 2024, if Harris were to be the Democratic nominee, I'm not saying she will be, but they took a poll whether voters would choose her or DeSantis, which looks like the presumptive heir, because we all know that Trump won't be there in 2024. We all know that. And Harris came out on top. So I asked her to show me these overarching energies. Prince of Pentacles. So there's information coming on who funded this in those January 6th committee hearings. Who paid for things and why? And did they know beforehand? Remember, of course, the Secret Service warned Mike Pence that his security could be in jeopardy because Trump might turn against him. So there's all this information coming out that people are saying, we don't want this again. We want security. Three of Cups in the hopes and fears circles of support. Anyone involved in January 6th, do you remember how they tried to keep this committee from not being formed? right in those early days. They did everything to stop this. Because why? Because they were involved. We're going to see who was involved. My goodness, is there going to be any further evidence that we haven't heard? I do feel around the money and perhaps players that may have not been in our consciousness, that may have been involved, new information. Now, that they haven't given us all the information. Prince of Cups. So is the outcome, will it make a difference to the midterms? Prince of Cups, somebody is offering us something. The Five of Pentacles, we've got loss here. The Five of Pentacles, those that are shunned and avoided. And we have here the Five of Cups. You know, this is around loss, big loss. Fives are about change. And the Five of Cups talks about dwelling and regret about the past. So there's an offer here, an offer on the table to overcome this energy of feeling betrayed. Okay, and we have the Death card. There is an ending of something that will occur after these hearings, an ending of something. Now, at the base of the pack, we've got the Six of Cups. Now, remember that this energy is pretty strong. That is going back to the past, a better way. The Prince or the Knight of Swords, truth coming forward about what? The lies and the deceit. The lies and deceit. Now, I think courage is on trial here as well. Remembering that sacred contract. Courage, lawmakers. The courage or cowardliness of the lawmakers and the disappointment. So we think that, we hear this din of these loud, radical voices, and we underestimate at our peril, or politicians underestimate at that peril, the need for security and stability. Now, remembering the North Node is in Taurus, and will be in the midterms. People will be voting for stability and security. And the South Node in Scorpio, the sign of death and rebirth, endings and beginnings, bringing that knowledge through about what needs to end. I feel January the 6th will give us new information, particularly on money, and also some new evidence around others that may be involved that we haven't really heard about yet, or the details of how they were involved. I think people watching are going to go, no way are we going to vote for this kind of future where we have a coup attempt. So 2024, as I've said many, many times, the ex-president will not be standing again. He won't be able to because he'll be charged. Okay, so let's move over now to something's coming out here. Six of Cups. Again, the past in a way is on trial. The past is on trial, and how things were done in the past, and that gives us perspective. Remember, that is around putting together the lessons of the past, bringing those into the present, and determining where we want to go in the future. Do we want a repeat of the past, or do we want something else? There's also the stability of the past to be considered as well, which also is part of the foundation. So the Tower card, very, very apt there. Let's move over to Putin. Of course, it's not Putin and Russia, not so far away from US politics. We know the effect or the impact that Russia has had in the US, and so we see the US providing Ukraine with those really effective weapons that could turn the tide of the invasion for them. So let's take a look. Eastern Ukraine. This is really important. Eastern Ukraine. So many heroes over there. So many countries, smaller countries, putting themselves on the line to help Ukraine. We see it over and over again. Okay, so all right, let's go to Eastern Ukraine. Eastern Ukraine. So I'm seeing the Two of Swords. It is a tipping point there. And Putin knows that he's throwing everything he can at Eastern Ukraine. He started bombing Kiev again. And of course those weapons from the US will make a huge difference in Ukrainians' defense. Eastern Ukraine, can Ukraine win back the territory in Eastern Ukraine that's been invaded? Princess of Cups, we've got surprise coming here, something we're not expecting. We've got the Hermit, introspection, isolation. Something is isolated. So the surprise is around something that has territory, troops, something that has been cut off in a way. Now we've got the Four of Pentacles. Now the Four of Pentacles is about a fortress. About a fortress. It's also about insecurity as well. Capricornian energy. We have the Strength in the past here. In the past, the Strength card. But in the sky, we have a potential victory with the Four of Wands. Reunifying territory that may have been cut off and allowing families to reunite. That's the potential. The immediate future, we have the Ace of Cups. So we may be surprised at the territory that Ukraine can take back in its eastern, borders, at its eastern borders. Does it extend to Crimea? Potentially. So we have here the Three of Wands. So again, overseas help makes a huge difference. They have been waiting for weaponry to come. Now, in the meantime, that has allowed Putin to get a foothold in eastern Ukraine. The environment around, whatever, we can hope for this victory, the environment that we find ourselves in is heartbreak and loss. And let's never forget that. But we've got the Three of Wands as the in the here and now. So it's almost like that heartbreak and loss. Ukraine's not going to give up. Ukraine is not going to give up. In the hopes and fears, we've got the Moon card. It's like the soul energy here. Moon is all about the emotions, but it's also the card of the soul. In the hopes and fears, they are fighting for their existence, their collective outcome cards, Ace of Pentacles. Yes, they can. Yes, they can win back. We do have the high cost of war with the Death card, but this is also beginnings and endings, remembering that the South Node is in Scorpio and the North Node is in Taurus. Stability. And the Queen of Swords, stability. So in a way, when I do those collective cards at the beginnings of the readings, they're very important to understanding the energies for the collective at this time. And I'm pretty sure for individuals as well, because we are more connected than what we think. At the base of the pack is the King of Cups and Temperance energy. I love this. I love this energy. I love it. The King of Cups, maturity. It is my card for the American president as well. And we have Temperance, evening the scales, balancing the scales, allowing a more moderate energy to come forward. We do have the Queen of Pentacles here, stability, financial stability as well. This can apply equally to Russia and Ukraine, Ukrainian economy as well. And we have the Tower card and the Devil energy. The Devil energy. But the surprise here are all these cups. The Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Again, the feelings. You only need to look at the memes for the Ukrainian and other freedom fighters, of the valor and the courage. And we do have the victory and new starts. So these things, these ripple effects that we're all feeling, whether they be waves or ripples, depending on where we're located, it's about a big reset occurring in 2022. Okay, so what do I need to know now? Just because people have asked me, and that reading indicated pretty good victories for Ukraine. Will Ukraine ever take back Crimea? Longer term? In the longer term? Will Ukraine, or shorter term? I don't know. Let's see. Will Ukraine ever take back Crimea, which was annexed, occupied by Russia in 2014? Will Ukraine ever take back Crimea? Well, Six of Pentacles, success. In many decks, that means success. It's giving and receiving help. It's a good card to pull out. Now we got the Eight of Cups, crossed by loss here. Crossed by loss, that's walking away from something that no longer serves us. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. The Devil energy is still here in Crimea. At the foundation of this, there was an invasion in 2014. Queen of Pentacles in the past. Now there's something here around, and I'll go a bit deeper in this reading. This is around the sanctions in Russia, because I did hear longer term there at the beginning. Now the Queen of Pentacles, when you start to consider when sanctions bite, when the war, when the invasion, when Russia's pushed back, there's something around financial stability here. Ten of Swords is complete and utter downfall. It's the ending of something also. It's in the sky, crowning this reading. The High Priestess is like something that that we can't see at the moment. It's Piscean energy. It's the collective, and it's about secrets being revealed. Two of Wands, coming to fruition in time, in the longer term. The Hierophant, negotiations, a higher source, institutions, something coming to fruition in time. The Hierophant, the universe, universal energy, hopes and fears. We've got the Star card. Oh, wow. We have the Ten of Wands. It would be a heavy, I guess, victory. And I think there would be a lot of lives. So in the shorter term, potentially not. Ukraine is already carrying huge loads. But we have movement. This Ten of Wands is also oppression. It's a card for oppression. And it's clarified by the Prince of Wands, which is movement and celebration, circles of support. In the longer term, I'm going to say it's possible. Why? Because we've got parties working together. We do not know about what kind of tribunals and international law that might come into play at the end of this invasion. Boundaries and justice and defending those boundaries. It's possible that in time, with negotiations, and I think it's international negotiations, that Crimea could return to Ukraine, but not right now. There is an ending of oppression in the outcome to this question. I know we're getting into a huge reading, but as I was doing that reading, intuitively, I felt I had to ask, Vladimir Putin's threats. Vladimir Putin's threats. What on earth do they mean? What on earth do they mean? I've always seen he goes before he can basically do the ultimate act of mass massacre, which is nuclear. Putin. So we've got the devil flowing out here. There's no doubt about it that Putin is that energy. So his threat against the US. What did he mean? Just a few cards to see. His threat against the US. So we have here the Eight of Pentacles. Those that support Sun in Virgo. Ten of Pentacles. Money. Okay, so, you know, again, I see the oligarchs working against Putin. So as I was shuffling, I felt that, you know, he would be taken out before he could do anything. The Hierophant. To me, these are financial. This is financial stuff here. The Hierophant, the government, those working with the US and allies. So he's falling back on turning off gas. Again, I read on that, and that's what he did to Finland and others, the Netherlands. There's more of the same here, punishing people through the economy, food supplies. Three of Pentacles, it's those that work with the US at this point. Eight of Swords, he is restricted. He is restricted here in what he can do. The Ace of Swords, the truth emerging in the near future, the Ace of Swords. Four of Wands, so we've got reunification, celebrations, and the Ace of Pentacles. These are around the sanctions, his economy. Two of Swords, yeah, they're starting to bite. Economically, Russia is done. So the Hanged Man, no, he's not going to push the nuclear button, no. I feel he would be stopped by the oligarchs, by the FSB, which is divided in their loyalties, and those around him. He would be stopped from that. But I do feel he's got a way to go with punishing those he thinks support the US or are involved. It is around sanctions, economic sanctions. So, you know, would he turn the gas off with Germany or France? Quite possible. We've got the Seven of Cups here. Regret, loss, even those that have passed over. The Nine of Swords, great anxiety, and the Five of Pentacles here. Okay, so he's not going to do that. He's not going to destroy Russia at this time. Well, he is, in another way, destroying Russia. This is more likely to be causing economic pain, maximum economic pain for anyone that he thinks is supporting the US. Okay? That's what that is. So, yeah, this is Europe. These kind of economic blows to Europe. All right, I'm going to... I'm sorry, but that's what I see. Okay, I'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in.